As kayak fishing continues to grow, I think it's safe to say that more products will launch specifically for kayak anglers. Well, St. Croix is doing just that at the 2018 ICAST show with a brand new rod. Let's talk about that. Hello and welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Fish Talk, a show where I have 5 minutes to discuss all things fishing. The show appears every single Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time Zone, so if you're new to it, click subscribe below to stay tuned. I just loaded 5 minutes on this time of year, and you know what that means. Boop! It's time to get real. We're talking about a fishing rod designed specifically for kayak fishermen today. That's what I'm talking about. First off, thank you to Jason for sharing this press release with me. He's a great subscriber and a great friend, so thanks, man. We appreciate you. Moving forward, though, let's talk a little bit about this rod. First off, very cool, St. Croix. Very cool. You're coming out with a rod designed for kayak fishermen. I myself am a kayak fisherman. A lot of the people that watch this channel are also kayak fishermen. So if you work at St. Croix, props to you. Now, with that being said, I do think there are going to be a lot of new products over the next few years that are kind of catered towards kayak anglers. That's already happening, right? It's been going on for quite some time. The kayak fishing industry is booming. And so with that, obviously specialty niche products are going to come out for them. But I don't think that I've heard of any kayak fishing rods yet, and so this one definitely caught my eye, and that's why I wanted to talk about it today in this week's segment of 5 Minute Fish Talk. Now, obviously, this thing launches in a couple of weeks at the 2018 ICAST, and once it does launch and actually hit the market, I will have a little bit better perspective because I might be able to go pick it up and feel it. Now, I'm not really in the, I'm not in the market personally for a fishing rod, so I don't know if I'll get it unless St. Croix gives me one to review on the channel. Okay, let's get into the specs, guys. I know that's what you came here for. Here's one quote that stood out to me in the article that I read. Customized to be fished effectively in tight, unforgiving situations. End quote. So basically what they said is that they're trying to make sure that they're making very strong, durable guides, so that way you don't end up with a broken rod. On a kayak, you can get yourself in situations like you're going around and then all of a sudden you can just nail a tree with all your rods because you kind of forgot that they're 7 foot above you. Yeah, that kind of situation. And then not only that, your entire kayak is plastic, and so if you're banging it around on there, you can obviously damage a fishing rod. When you're on a boat, you have the carpet, you have the rod locker, you kind of have a little bit more opportunity to protect your fishing rod. In a kayak, you don't quite have that same opportunity. So I think that's a very cool, necessary action that they took. Now the other thing that they did is they went ahead and made a tacky, shock absorbent, comfortable grip is what they say. They partnered with like some company named Winn, W-I-N-N. But what that kind of means is everybody always says their grip is the best grip, but I guess time will tell what this is going to do. It is important for kayak fishermen though, because when you're out there and you're so low to the water, you are going to get wet, your hands are going to get wet when you're paddling, and you do want something that you're going to be able to hold on to, and you want something that you're going to be able to feel a bite on. And so if they actually did what they say they did, I think that's going to be definitely a nice thing to have on this fishing rod, and so I'm glad that they're investing in the right areas. Now the next thing, and this is probably one of the more important things, is they're doing a shorter split grip so that way you can properly work some of your different techniques and not kind of clog up your space. When you're in a kayak, obviously you have to hold your rod a bit closer to your body than when you're on a boat. You kind of have a different way of holding it and working baits. So making a little bit shorter split grip, and then they rounded the rod butt. I think those are going to be little things that do make a big difference. Here are more of my thoughts and concerns. Well, before I do that, it is priced at $150 and it will have a 5-year warranty like all of their other St. Croix rods. I think that's pretty cool. So $150, it's an investment, right? But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And if it's going to be a really good rod to fish with, well, there you go. But here are my thoughts. I want to make sure, the first thing that makes me a little bit concerned is anytime you shorten a split grip and you make that rod butt a little bit smaller, I think you're prone to having a less evenly balanced fishing rod. So I'm sure they thought about this, but if the butt is smaller and all of a sudden the rest of the rod has a bigger percentage of the total length, all of a sudden that's going to be tip heavy. You don't want a tip heavy rod. I hate a tip heavy rod. I like to have one that has the proper balance, and once I pair my reel on it, it feels natural at about the 10 o'clock position. I look for that. I think it really, really helps with comfort on the water, and I think it helps with detecting bites. Personally, that's a personal decision, but it is one thing that's a watch out for me. Aside from that, you know what? I'm just thankful that they're coming out with something specifically for kayak anglers. I think it's very cool to see a company truly think about the kayak angler. Now, I'm not going to form a judgment yet. I'm not. But I will say this. I'm going to try to go pick up one after ICAST after it launches and just feel it. And I'll be able to share my perspectives then, so you can always reach back out to me via Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, and I'll share my opinions. Now, obviously, like I said, St. Croix, if you want to, give me one, obviously I'll review the thing. But the fact of the matter is this, this is going to be a cool product. I'm very excited for the fact that they are launching in this area. And 10 seconds left, cancel. Yes, no alarm, guys, no alarm, we did good. Very exciting. What are your guys' thoughts? What are your thoughts? What are your concerns when you hear this? I actually just bought my first St. Croix rod the other day. It's this Bass X, which I have a review on. By and large, I think they're a pretty good company. So, very excited to see this rod. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend, guys. You know what's next. We'll catch you next time.